is interesting. It's different. It's hello, everyone.
We never know when we're starting.
I have apparently lost your LinkedIn connection, unfortunately.
That's okay. I'll
Well,
reshare it. Easy. We'll make it
yes,
easy. Tech happens. Mercury is in lemonade. We're good.
it's fine. It's
Mercury's
all
making
fine.
lemonade. Yep. We don't stress about these things anymore.
Welcome, y'all. I am Briar Harvey. This is the Neurodiversity Media Network. Today, I'm here with the fabulous Veronica Yanhs, and we are talking about project management software. So, this episode was kind of like a bonus that we added in the first or second week. We were like, oh, we really should probably talk about project management software at least a little bit, because especially when you are neurodivergent, there are good options and there are bad options. So, we're going to take you on a short little tour. I'm going to show you Notion. Veronica's going to show you ClickUp. We're going to talk about a couple of other things that we like, and then we're going to get into the ones that we don't like.
For lack of trying or
Right.
asking power users to walk us through, like being the operations consultants that we are, like there are so many millions of apps out there. And everybody loves the good project management app because that's the whole productivity. Like everybody still wants to be productive and that those productivity hacks still exist. So it's like we have to know it. So we actually, you either pay with time or money, right? So we choose to pay an hourly, whatever somebody who's an expert user at. We're like, here's your what will you charge us to like walk us through and have us answer and throw questions at you for an hour because you are a power user. So like based on all that, we've gotten a lot of information and I still have my favorites and least favorites.
Yes. Yeah. There are it's it's unfortunate because I see the value in having as many designs as possible, but truly, there is no perfect project management system. Even the ones that we use have flaws. So I don't I don't understand the desire for people to reinvent this particular wheel. That's
That
what
is
I'll say.
true. So here's where I will start with this conversation. And we touched upon it last episode, which I was really glad we got to. That the reason why we've been so successful with being able to help figure out project management systems for our clients is, well, one, project management is everything. Okay, I'll say that with operations, like operations everything, but like to me, project management's like your command center, for lack of better terms. It's where people know what they got to do, what's coming up, what's due, timelines, campaigns, resource management, like the way we set up our project management, like, oh, and we actually stick with the whole to do, doing, done methodology, the Kanban methodology, but we also add custom fields in there to make it a little more distinctive and descriptive as to like what the doing is actually like, what is the phase, like the sub phase of the doing. But it comes down to, at the end of the day, understanding your needs and requirements for success. I know it sounds unsexy and I said this last time, but needs and requirements are never talked about enough. And so I think having this conversation with you, Briar, allows hopefully the listeners to just figure out, okay, there are 100 million plus one apps out there. Everybody's vying for my money and attention. What is it that I actually need? What are the features that work with my brain, whether I be neurotypical or neurodivergent? It doesn't matter. Like everybody, no matter who you are, has needs and what parameters of success look like. And so it's going to be fun to be able to chat with you about this as a fellow ops person. So I'm done talking. Let's just get into it.
All right. So we'll start with mine.
Okay.
I am going to show you my current dashboard for the Neurodiversity Media Network. So this is all the stuff. And I have not even done all the work here. Notion is has so many things. This is my pretty logo, but it does backgrounds. I have not added that. I have all kinds of properties here. This is actually a page in my project database.
So you're saying, because to me, I see like neuromedia or neurodiversity media network almost like as a business entity, right? There's
Hmm.
so much. So
Hmm.
you're saying that you have your entire business as one page in Notion and everything else is like sub page the crap in.
Yes.
Okay. I have so many comments and questions. I need to just keep my mouth shut. Okay, sorry. Like this is where I was just like, where's my ball gag? Okay.
And that's the thing with the reason that Notion works for me is that I can make it do exactly what I want it to do.
I love that.
So I have a couple of template buttons here, which add tasks directly into my task management database. There's a daily, there's a weekly. I have some notes here that are relevant. And then I have a bunch of resources. These are all individual pages or databases. The episode list is an entire fucking database that all of my people have access to so that they can pull out their episodes. This is where I leave you all of your files.
I love it.
This is my advertising database. This is the sponsorship kit that I have built out. These are some templates for prompts to have conversations with people. All of these pages here are like me talking to me about what I'm building here, who it's for, how to sell it. All of these things live here for me. I have a list here of people that I would like to collaborate on shows with. I have a list here of people that I want to reach out to specifically for ad placement. And what we're doing is a collaboration. So we're talking specifically about you and your stuff for the duration of the show. Ads sponsors get ad roll at the beginning and the end of some of our more topical shows. Here is where I just link to posts that I'm currently working on. Here is my list of shows. And if we go into, can we click on yours, Veronica?
Please, please.
Okay, so if we click on yours, we got the date that we started, where we're at in recording. This is, again, all a project. And then I have some of our information here, things that we're doing and developing and building. And then here is our episode list. Here is our episode for today, which still has not been named. I feel like we had a name for it, but such is.
It was
And
like delegation domination.
something like that. And so I can click here and rename it.
And then like project management. This is where after like the kinky stuff is done, my marketing brain turns off.
Uh-huh. But this episode list here is this page here, which is the entire database. This is my calendar view so that I can see what I am recording.
Mm-hmm.
The reason Notion works for me is that it allows me to structure things in a way that my brain can go, oh, yes, that makes sense to me. You're right, a whole business on one project page. And if you go into my projects, I think I can do that. I have all these podcasts here. I have this. I have potential clients. I have possible collaborations that I am in progress building. Like, it all lives here for me. I have an entirely different database for task management. So And I have a bunch of dashboards for different things. This is just tasks. Content lives in another place, which my personal content is separate from the NMN's content. So it really allows me to segment everything out in the way that I want to do it.
I
And
love that.
truly, Notion is not for everyone. And I know you use Notion much more as a knowledge base than as task management.
Yes, so I'm happy to share my Notion as well.
Hmm.
So the story of our task management and everything lives in ClickUp because it actually really works for us. And as somebody who is I wouldn't say traditional project manager, but like the tools that I need to really make things happen because we have dependencies out the wazoo. Like I lean on some of the traditional stuff that I need. But the reason why I love ClickUp so much, and I'll go back to Notion and share the stuff that we use Notion for, is that it injects humanity. It honors the humanity and uniqueness that people need from a more traditional project management app. And like and I'll show you when I show you my ClickUp, but now I'll show you my Notion. So I right now use Notion for two things. I have professional for like business laid bare. We mostly use Notion as a client dashboard because it allows us to upload content and links and embed ClickUp views. So it makes showing the clients like, oh, you just have to click here for everything you need to make it happen. And then on the other hand, we do have some knowledge based content, whether it's SOPs and stuff that, or I even have my team onboarding experience in Notion, and I'm happy to share that. So why don't I just upload or present my screen now? And then on the personal side, I am building out what I call a life operating system. I'm trying to like make this work. Okay, here we go. So let me just show you my life operating system right now. Do you see my Notion page?
Yep.
Okay, so right now, like I just started Notion for myself as like a life knowledge base. Things from like my glasses prescription, our COVID vax cards, cold remedies, because I constantly like if I'm getting sick or don't feel good, like I don't have to keep Googling or asking friends, do I take ibuprofen or do I take acetaminophen? So this is like my second brain. Everything from like packing lists down to like TSA numbers and like mileage numbers. I even have like a keto meal planning thing when we started keto and I really wanted to be good about it. Like it's organized by this grouped by this week or like, and then next week. But I was playing around with the ingredients thing and I know how to make it better now because I was talking to Briar about this. Like, I want to be able to check everything that I want to make this week and have it create me a shopping list. And then I get to decide if I already have it or do I need to buy it. So it's like for me, I'm using Notion a lot personally because this is what I need personally. But I feel like on a business side, it needs to be a little bit more structured, if that makes sense, Briar. But
Y-
like,
You
oh, go
know,
ahead.
my team uses Notion. We use Notion together. It works well for us, but I will acknowledge, especially for me, that I have had to train everyone on how to use Notion, and they do kind of have to learn how it works in my brain. Now, eventually, when someone's been with me for a while, we'll build them out a dashboard so
Yeah,
they get all of the stuff presented the way that it makes sense for them. But truly, it's not for everyone and it's not for every business. It
absolutely.
has absolute incredible potential as a knowledge base. I love
Look at
meat
this.
smoking times. Like,
Because who wants to like I don't want to forget, you know?
right.
So like I know that when I make like poor man's prime rib, which means I'm not using ribeye because it's like $69 a pound when it's not Christmas, Thanksgiving, or some holiday. So I use a different cut and I know like what temperatures I need it to smoke at. And so I haven't put the exact time in, but I just want to know what happens if I put 3 pounds of this in. How long is it going to take me to get to 110? And how long is it going to take me to get to 125 so that I could tell my guests, hey, show up at this time because it's going to take this long to cook and this long to like rest because it works so hard. So So, same thing, and I can't see your face or if you're just like, "What the hell's going on with you?" But it's just like same
No,
thing with
this is
ribs
fabulous.
and brisket.
Fabulous.
So, like, for me right now, I use it a lot for my own life. Like, we went to Barcelona. We had ChatGPT kind of give us like a 5-day itinerary because I was curious as to what that would look like. I was able to create like a board style view in Notion. Is like, okay, on Monday, we're doing all of these things. On Tuesday, we're doing all of these things. But then if we want to go to the business side, so like we have all our meeting notes here. Every week we have meeting notes in our quarterly planning. We have a lot of knowledge-based content that still lives here. Like one of the big things, I have press kits that I give to everybody. So when they're like, "Oh, can you send me like a bio or something?" I'm like, "If you're going
I
to ask for a
definitely
bio."
have a press kit in Notion. Yes.
So when this is a and this is shared on the web, so I can just anybody can have a link to this. So I'm just like, here's how do you pronounce my name, pronoun, short, long bio, links, photos, like choose whatever fits your mood, your landscape or portrait needs, and I don't have to like deal with it anymore. Like everything is here for you. So but one of the things that we love, and here I'll just show like some, and we do our assessments in here as well, because knowing for the assessment, and I'll give you a sneak peek into the DIY assessments that we're going to be launching soon. But like when you literally get into the operations audit portion, like we have 150 items for like folks to check to like audit their own operations. And then that puts that the numbers checked because we rolled it up into like progress and percentage with action items and things that you checked here, things that you didn't check. And based on what you did or didn't check, here's some action items and best practices. Like you said, Briar, I couldn't do this in Google Docs. I mean, I could, but it would take like hundreds of pages and anchoring and linkings when I could make it so amazing in Notion, right? Because I made it what I needed to do for me. So and that is a reason for us to use Notion, but we don't use it every day. And so one of my favorite experiences is new team member onboarding and training. And the reason why this is not in ClickUp is because ClickUp doesn't really do this well. Like I actually have our team members go through an apps and software audit because I
Oh,
want to know
that's
what I'm working
cool.
with.
Mhm.
And I want, like, if I'm going to hire someone, for instance, to be an email marketer and they somehow checked no experience with Active Campaign, then I know, like, well, one, where did I screw up? Right. And I hopefully would never have gotten to that place. But if it just allows me to see what people have experiences in and then some comments, just so that we know what we're working with. But for me, being able to have this experience for them and to build it exactly how I want to. Like I love Notion for this reason. You can totally do it in ClickUp as well. So these are the
That's
reasons
definitely
why.
true. You could theoretically, everything that you've built out here in Notion, with the exception of the databases, can
Mhm.
be built into ClickUp. It's just not going to be the same. But
No, but it works for us, right?
mhm,
So the theme here is like make it work for you, and you don't have to go all in like Briar. You can kind of like be halvesies. Like I'm kind of like of the Power Ranger age where it's like, oh, I take the best of like
mhm.
all the different worlds and I make it my own bot at the end because I have the knowledge and the requirements and success parameters detailed down. So I know, okay, I'm comfortable not having to jump into an all in one app and be stuck there because we all know apps that claim they are all in one, even ClickUp themselves, you're not amazing at everything you say you can do. You're probably amazing at a few things at best and mediocre at the rest. Things like Dubsado, Honeybook, like we've tried them all.
Oof.
We know, right? They're great at what they're great at, but then the rest they're not.
Mhm.
So, okay, done with that soapbox for now. But yeah, this is what we use Notion for. Like I would say it's a 50% split of like client dashboards. Like we use a lot of stuff. Like I'll just go into an example here. Like I embed our ClickUp project management, right? And so it's
See,
like,
and that's why you can use both of these tools, because you can embed ClickUp and you could backlink to all of the Notion places in ClickUp. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And like we don't need to our clients to be in our ClickUp because it's a very sacred space. I'm just like, here's a public page. You don't need to log in. I thought about the user experience. You can just always link to this.
mhm.
Fathom calls, Google Drive stuff. We're going to actually create a client facing knowledge base in ClickUp Docs. Not for the only reason why we're doing that, because we could create it anywhere else, is because we wanted to showcase our clients what different knowledge bases look like. So we have various examples from like ClickUp Tasks, ClickUp Docs, Notion, Airtable, just to give them an idea of like what they can do for themselves. So it's a learning experience for them.
I
Okay,
love it.
I'm gonna
So
stop
let's
sharing.
look at, no, I want to go look
Okay.
at your ClickUp. I want to go look at your ClickUp.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair. Okay, so sharing my screen back again. All right, so ClickUp to me, like I said earlier, has been the app that has honored the humanity in us all. And when I say this, it's because think about the different people in your team. Like some people, how they visualize information and feel successful and take action is different from you and I, right? So to force you to look at things a certain way, like Briar, you were saying it's really easy for you to like look at what tasks need to be done because it's laid out a certain way, right? But what if I forced you to look at how it was laid out according to what made sense for me?
Mhm,
That like millisecond even or a few seconds of slowing you down to have you figure it out doesn't feel good, right? It's not pleasurable, it's not orgasmic, and it certainly doesn't make doing the work easy. And you're not working through with your zone of genius or naturally how you are designed to work.
mhm.
So, yes, I have a whole bunch of overdue things because I was not feeling well. So, I am not perfect. But what I love is that we have a space. So, we have our knowledge base actually in here. So, I moved from Notion to ClickUp Tasks because what I was trying to do in Notion manually with like who's in charge of this documentation, the purpose of it, the documentation strength, origin, and when it was last updated, and if there are any like related docs to it, it just was a lot easier to do so in ClickUp. And the reason why I also did it was because anytime, instead of telling our team members that we have a new piece of documentation or that it's been updated and typing that in Slack, if you just open a new task or leave a comment, it sends a direct notification into our knowledge base update Slack channel. And it is great.
And you cannot, I want to be clear, y'all. There's a lot here that you cannot still do in Notion. We just got recurring tasks in there, and they are not great. Like, I'm still not in love with Notion's recurring tasks. The templates are better, but yeah, like you can send stuff from Notion into Slack if this is a way that you communicate. But like,
Look at this. Like I now we don't have to like tell people. Like
mhm,
this channel dings and we go see it. Hey, Terry, Michaela, let me know if this document makes any sense at all. When we're all in agreement, I'll add it to the contract, right? Because I have a revision policy document now. And I didn't have to like tell them. It
mhm,
just automatically showed up because I left a comment.
mhm,
But like this to me is really pretty.
mhm,
And it's like we have like over 500 pieces of items in the knowledge based task because where ClickUp is superior in this is that they have really over featured their tasks. So like the the custom fields that we can add. We can, if I wanted to, I could group and have a whole view just by like custom field, like documentation strength. But like this has worked really well for me and needs and requirements, searchability without a shadow of a doubt is important. So I'm just like, oh, well, if I was going to get a testimonial and I forgot what questions I asked, I'm going to just type in the word testimonial and it shows up. So here we go, client testimonial questions and prompts. Done. And the reason why I have documentation origin is because I love detail, but it's like, okay, where did this original piece of documentation come from? Oh, it came from Tango, or I actually put it straight in ClickUp, or it's in Notion, and we like embedded it into ClickUp. So it looks like this. So I don't even have to leave ClickUp if I didn't want to. So it just works for me and
Mhm.
knowledge base wise. And then when we copy and paste this URL, it unfurls in like a task document in the like the description side, and I'll say client testimonial questions and prompts if I copied this URL. So we're good there with knowledge base, right? Like, or did you have more questions?
No, no. I mean, and truly, this is lovely. And it's been a few years, and this is one of the things, Veronica and I both know this about being early adopters. When you are too early to a system, it may not have the features that you need it to have, and so you will abandon it in favor of something else. And so I started trying to use ClickUp back when it was version 1.
Oh, you were earlier than me. I was like 1.5 or 2.
And when they made the transition to 2, it became utterly unusable for me.
Oh,
And
that's when it became usable for me.
I haven't been I'm sure it is now, but it broke the way that I was using ClickUp, and so now I have no idea what's in there. And I would have to go back in and relearn it. But again, if my team was any bigger than it is, I probably would. I have one full-time-ish contractor and a couple of other people who do like a few hours a month for me. So
Yeah.
there's no need to integrate them deeply into a task management system. Whereas you have full-time people.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, okay, I don't work 40 hours a week. So full
Well,
time is, but you
full-time
get what
is,
I'm
well, it's
dedicated.
all relative. Dedicated. There we go.
Okay.
Right.
I just wanted to be clear. Like, we're like when people say
Mhm.
full time, like, I don't even think some days I work more than 40-hour weeks. Some weeks I don't, right? But my committed full time, yes. But here, let me show you my project management. I'll go back to actually the project management side. So,
Okay.
okay. Oh, there you go. So, here's where ClickUp works really well for me. Like, I will show you one area that all the other project management apps that we have tested and tried do not work. So, we have clients, right? Like, clients is what gets us paid. We want to make sure we're on top of our stuff and to make sure that we're not delayed. And if we are, to communicate that. But in where Asana failed for me before I left it for Trello is because if I wanted to see all the tasks, I'd have to click into each project. And I can't see your face, Briar, but I can imagine like the face
Yes.
you're making.
We share a mutual disdain for both Asana and Trello, but we'll
Be-
get
but
there.
But the thing is, Asana works really well for people that need that, right? Some people get
Mhm,
overwhelmed by seeing
mhm.
all the things, but I am a big picture person. So here's what gets really orgasmic for me. If I can roll up all of these tasks and click on the client work folder, and we created a calendar view, and we know exactly what we're doing this week because it's grouped by week because I set the filter so that we know this is everything that we're doing or
Mhm.
involved in this week for every single task or every single project that clients are involved in. So
Right,
like I
and
have a meeting, I have a prep call with somebody for an assessment. We know that for one client we're working on project management, another client also project management and wholesale and influencer stuff. So it's like really cool to see what that time box is so the overwhelm is limited
I
and minimized.
absolutely cannot do any of this in Notion. So we're
But you
all
don't need
clear.
to.
But no, personally, I don't need to at this time. But it's really important when you are trying to figure out your project management system. It's not about what's sexy and what everyone else is using, it's about your needs.
But this is orgasmic to me.
Hmm.
Like, I am a walk-in closet type of person. I want to be able to see, and this is truly ask our clients this question. So take this as a pro tip that clients pay us for. Like when I say, are you a walk-in closet type of person or are you a dresser drawer type of person? There's no wrong answer. The wrong answer is you choose to not answer. But they'll be like, oh, well, I'm a dresser drawer person because anything, if I see too many things, my brain goes everywhere. I'm overwhelmed. I just want to be like out of sight, out of mind for everything and just focus on here. Great. Or you're like me, I want to see everything and give the opportunity to zoom into one area in my closet if I want to, but I want to go both ways. And I want that freedom. And ClickUp is the only app that we found that does this walk in closet mentality really well. And based on that
I
example I
agree.
just gave you, a sauna is very much dresser drawer only.
Hmm.
You have to go into one project. You can't see all the projects at once. And because we're like operating on an agency model and we're hiring new people, it's like while we can see far ahead, there's sometimes something that's really beautiful to say, okay, because in our Monday meetings, like what are our priorities this week for each client? And by seeing this portrayed out in ClickUp with just one click in this specific view, it works for us. But it's also because I stated that as a needs and requirements for success that I was not willing to give it up for. And you're
Hmm.
right, Notion doesn't allow for that.
No.
So make it work for you. Oh, can I show you one more thing from ClickUp?
Yes. I will share it one more time.
Okay, here we go. So the other list I will show you is our content. And
Ooh,
this, thank
pretty.
you. Thank you.
Oh, I love the progress. Now you can do the progress bar in Notion, but up until very recently, it was a fucking formula, and I don't code, so I'm not great at that shit. Now there is a way to do it, but it's still not great. So
This is
again,
where
this
ClickUp's
is
custom fields.
beautiful.
Okay, you want to hear something that's even more orgasmic and why these channels are done the way they are, not just because I wanted it to look pretty. So
Yes.
if I created a new blog post, so, oh geez, like testing. So right now it's an empty task, but depending on what custom field I select for the channel, if I select a static blog post, it will give me a subset of subtasks that I have I've predetermined. And if it was an email, it would reload the task with email campaign related subtasks because I set all of that up. So
Hmm.
it looks a little something like this. If I clicked email, you kind of have to wait, or sometimes it does it. But if I refresh, and hopefully I didn't break it because I was playing with it yesterday, so maybe I spoke too soon. But generally it will load the subtasks that we need to make it happen. Oh, there it goes. So
Hmm.
it's going to show up at some point. I know it will. There you go.
There we
Like
go.
this is different. Like blog posts will have things like scheduled or revision draft, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
all of this was set up because I set automations. When a custom field changes, then apply a template for the email newsletter website. Like you have to work to make things how you want it or hire us to do it. But this then also, Briar, allows us to see what I was saying earlier. Like if you're in the doing phase, think of a podcast because we had this for the Business Whip podcast as well. Doing is very, very vague, right?
Hmm.
So for us, but we like the doing because it reinforces that when we look at business laid bare as a high level, I can see, okay, these are the tasks that I have to work on in the doing stage. And then the to do stage for us is specifically, we have all agreed. So this is a process and boundary we've all set. If something is in the to do phase, it means that we are planning on taking action on it this week. So if I have a lot of things in my doing and I see that I have added a lot of things to my to do section, it means that I probably just thought I was cooler than I really was and could do more than I really can. So it's about resource management as well. But
Definitely.
look, Briar, if I click stages, it doesn't delete my to do, doing, and done, but now it groups it by where each blog post is or
I
content
love it. Yes.
depending on stage. I figured you would, but it's just like this then allows people that need to see things like this be
Mhm.
happy. We can see a publication calendar because we have set the filter by when, I don't know where I put this. It's somewhere here, but essentially we listed it based off of there was a publication date. So
Uh-huh.
we can see what the publication calendar looks like because that's different than your start and your
Mhm.
due dates. So this really works for us. And then if the social content, oh, we also, I think, have a task. If we create a task here, it duplicates it to the social media tasks. And then if we've done creating social content for it, Michaela just clicks social content checked. So now we know what kind of things we have to do. So to us, like this really works for us because I think in the true sense of project management, we need this because we're doing so much. And with more team members coming down the line, it's like we really have to be organized and recurring tasks. I can't even like wonder, like I have to know that I just need to click recurs daily, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, like yearly. Like I don't even want to think about if recurring tasks are hard. If that's hard, then like I can't deal.
And I will emphasize again, y'all, Notion's recurring tasks are not awesome yet. They're working on them, but the th- truly the thing about task management is that at the end of the day, it's about checking the box, right?
Yep.
And structurally, I think Veronica and I would agree. If you spend more time designing the boxes than checking the boxes, there is a problem with your project management system. And again, the some of the shit she's showing you, especially if you have a team, is going to be life changing. If you are a solo or if you have a very specific sequence, Notion may work for a team. But if you need robust task management, I always suggest ClickUp and or Airtable. And neither one of us, do you have an Airtable? Um,
We use it, but not for project
okay,
management. And
so
I'm
we don't have
and I'm
anything to demonstrate
no,
here.
but we can talk about it. We
Yeah,
actually don't believe that Airtable is the best project management
I don't
app
either.
for everybody. Again, right? Your mileage
Mhm.
may vary, but I just wanted to show this because this is to us proof that ClickUp works for us. Because out of all of my team members, no surprise, I am the worst comparatively, but holy cow, like how can you ask for anything more of team members who are on top of their shit, get things done? And I can't thank well, we thanked ourselves because we set these like best practices because I have in my knowledge base a ClickUp best practices document for all of us. But like this is a testament that for us, this project management app works. Except don't look at mine.
Look at all of those completed tasks. And
Yeah.
that's the measure here.
Yeah.
The measure of your task management system working is now and will always be boxes checked. And for me, especially right now that all of my time is here on the Neurodiversity Media Network, every day it's the exact same shit. So I
Oh yeah,
have
it's
a
not that fast.
template of the boxes, but it's not even most days I don't even check the boxes. It's just there is a visual reminder of these are the things that you have to get done before you can be done for the day. Have you
And
uploaded this? Have
yeah.
you downloaded that? But it's the same sequence, a same sequence that I could hand to somebody else too, and they could also check the boxes in Notion. If it's anything more complicated than that, folks, please do not make Notion your project management software of choice.
And here's a few more I'll show you two more things before I'm done.
Okay.
I really like lean on this home screen because it's every single task from every single subfolder, sub list, whatever in my space
Hmm.
that is either has been started, the start date already passed, or the due date is coming up. This then allows me to go to one spot if you've done project management right. Because if you don't set due dates, it goes into what we call the ClickUp abyss, the unscheduled, right? So for
What was
me,
the number? How many unscheduled were there? 195?
196.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's okay because there are a lot of them are ideas, and that's
Right.
fine, right? But I would say, like, I trust that we have done the work and set the parameters and protocols so that we don't have to go to multiple places to figure out what needs to be done. It's all here.
Mhm.
And then one last thing I'll show you, the reason why I love ClickUp so much is because it connects with Slack. So for every single and we are very judicious about what we choose to integrate over to Slack. So client work, every single task that gets updated or created is tied to each client channel, because then this is a way of communication. I don't need to ask Michaela if she's finished something. It clearly says done because it says moved from, because we only have 3 statuses. So when I know that the knowledge base is done, I don't have to think about it, right? Like it's like a way of communicating. It's really fun to see when something goes from like doing to done, and we can talk about all of our client related conversations in one channel.
Do
Same thing
your
with
clients
comments.
get access to this channel?
No, they do not. This is
Okay.
private. They have their own communication channels if they wish. But it's just like this is when you keep all of your client information and conversations organized into one Slack channel here, it really allows us to see, like, okay, look, it went from to do, to doing, to done. Or if I left a new comment, it's right here.
Mhm.
It sends, so this works for us. So it's again efficiency. And that's where I will stop talking because I feel like I've talked a lot. But that's the name of the game, folks. Like, make your apps work for you, but you have to know yourself well enough to figure out what that looks like.
And I
It's
think
sexy
that
to me, our
right. And
system.
and and this is the fun part for you and I is figuring out the ways that make it work so that you are effortlessly checking those boxes. Slack is a black hole abyss to me for communication. I can't find anything in there. I would rather have notes attached specifically to the task and have it all live in Notion. But again, I have one person and a couple of very part time people. So it gets to live where I want it to live. I do
Yeah.
not have to worry quite so much about designing a system that's functional for everybody. But when you have full time, and we say that with bunny rabbit ears around here, you got to be able to make sure your system is usable and functional for everyone. So, all right, let's.
So, how about this? What's the takeaway? I think for me is intention. That is the
Mhm.
takeaway, right? You have to be intentional, not just follow people. Because I always see this on the forums, LinkedIn, it doesn't matter what platform. What's your
Right.
favorite project management app? And then people will shout their praises. And then that person will just blindly sign up for it because 20 out of 25 people said Asana or something.
Hmm.
So for us, it really has to be, what is it that you need to accomplish? What is it that your brain needs to see? How do you work? And for me, like being able to put all of our client tasks integrated into Slack in a single channel allows us to quickly look at what the paper trail or what the history looks like, because it allows us to be really efficient at what we do because we're working with a handful, multiple clients at once, which is why we're so organized about it, because Slack was designed intentionally with categories and channel nomenclature to make sense for us. But again, it was all from intention. So that's my biggest takeaway. I would love your big takeaway before we kind of talk about apps that don't work.
Yeah, I continue to come back to the time cost of design versus the actual time spent in execution. And people who aren't hiring you are doing this themselves. And when they're doing it themselves, they are frequently at the procrastinating stage, right?
I should have worn my I can't even t-shirt. Like I'm just blurting
Yes,
shit out now, but opportunity missed, Veronica.
it totally was. Like
And I
the
say this because you're right, right? You can't even. Like you don't know what you don't know.
Mhm.
And your business, like business is not easy. Let's like just cut the crap. People think that business is easy. It's like it's not. It's just more accessible. So when you fall into that and do it yourself, you're spending more time trying to figure out the thing than like growing or running your business.
And we would like you to take it from the operations people that ops design takes a lifetime to learn. We would prefer that you trust somebody else with it so that we can just give you the thing that works instead of trying to hack it together yourself with a bunch of stuff. So I definitely want to come back to your audit, but first, what is the link for that so they can get on the waiting list?
Oh
Because
yeah, I can drop that down.
yes.
But as I'm looking for it, what was I going to say? I had many things that I wanted to say. But first of all, thank you for saying ops design takes a lifetime or it's not just easy. Like some people have these beautiful Notion builds. It's because they know the software really well. And the other thing I wanted to say was just because we love ClickUp so much or love Notion, it doesn't mean that we're only limited to building on that app. Because as you and I have talked about, Briar, apps are just the tip
Yep.
of the system's iceberg, right? You have to figure out needs and requirements. I'm thinking about my pyramid and the results, parameters of success, like what the setup looks like. And then when you have that strategy, all those things make up the strategy. Then you can like apps are like clothes. You can take them off,
Mhm.
put them on as you please. But if your strategy stays the same, that means that you know what your color palette looks like, what colors and patterns fit you best. And you can just be like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. I think I want this. Let's try it on to make it work because I know what my strategy is. I know that I need this feature set. And if this app doesn't have it, why do I even look and bother? So drop in my link now for you because I can't post it in the comments. But that's my soapbox.
I like to call it platform agnostic. And that is, I think, the difference. We want you to truly, oh, I just copied and pasted your link right back to you. That was delightful. We want you to be able to build the thing or use the thing that works for you. Okay. So we mentioned Airtable, but not, either one of us use it well. I want to highlight that it has automations and that it integrates well with other things. So if your task management system needs to play well with others, Airtable may be worth looking at. Are there?
Or if you need that databasey looking,
Yes.
like it's like Google Sheets on steroids because I would say that
Hmm.
Notion's databases are still not where Airtables are at. But like, think if you are a content creator that is like YouTube is your business, for instance, and you have that specific cadence, like every video is the same. You need to know at what point what each video is at or content. Airtable would work really well for you if your brain worked that way.
Hmm.
An app that both Briar and I have not been in favor of. So, Briar, this is where I'm teeing you up. Is Monday.
Listen, I do not understand why we named an app after the worst day of the week.
I paid somebody to walk Terry and I through because I didn't want to learn it. I'm like, I have all these questions. Like, it was like rapid fire. And it was something as simple as like, uh, so tell me how recurring tasks work. And she said, well, you have to go over here, create an automation, and tell it when to recur the task. And I'm just like, for people that need project management like in a really robust way, we don't have time for that. And plus, Monday doesn't allow you to have that walk-in closet feel. So for me, Briar, I felt that Monday was very much like Airtable with project management features. But again,
Not
if
even
that's what
the
you
right
need,
project management features. I
we're
I
not here
kept
to bash people or apps, but we're just saying like this is what we're looking at, right? Like, what is the capabilities? What can it do? And if Monday is what you need because you have no project management and it's all on a piece of paper or sticky notes, then go forth.
or
Like
your
I,
calendar.
yes.
Monday is probably fantastic for people whose entire work schedule is meeting people, because the calendar integration into Monday is top notch. So if
Mhm.
that's your job, is just talking to other people, and you don't require robust note-taking system, Monday might be for you.
See, that to me is like Airtable. So what I'm trying to say is that like for me, like even like there's an app that I really like that is pretty considered old school that we don't talk about so much, but it's actually called Reich. Like Reich,
Oh, I know, right?
yeah, like it
Yes.
actually allows me to see the things I need to see because it allows me to build the dashboard how I want it built. So it's just like, again, what do you need and crave and desire? What do you not want? And this is where then project management and choosing the apps becomes a lot easier. But if you don't know, this is where Briar and I love to talk about them. So book calls with us. We're happy to like consult you and figure out what works for you.
Last one I'm going to mention,
Okay.
especially if you have ADHD and you're a solo or a freelancer. Amazing Marvin has, okay, y'all,
Okay,
it's
gotta
got
go look
this.
up now.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna love Marvin because he's this cute little marshmallow man, and he accompanies you. He like celebrates when you complete tasks.
Oh, is
There
it like the Microsoft Word
a little
paperclip?
bit, a little bit.
Okay. I just dated myself.
Clippy. His name is Clippy. Marvin will dance for you. He moonwalks occasionally if the task's really old. But the reason that I like Amazing Marvin is that there are a bunch of features to pull up the stuff that's in the doom pile. Like if you have tasks that have been sat on, there are lots of ways. It'll tell you if you're procrastinating. It will tell you if it's been
Oh my
how many
god.
days since you've looked at this task. It will tell you approximately how long this task will take you, or you can set that in yourself.
I
But there are
love
a
this.
bunch of time management and like ADHD style features that you can turn on and off to really make it work for you as an individual. But again, it
I'm
doesn't
at the
do teams.
procrastination count page.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great. See, I don't even know all the apps. And this is where our expertise, it's like, well, we're not slated as app experts, we're slated as operations experts, right? So the fact that we're finding things to help, it's like I love learning. And I'm not afraid to say I don't know. Like this is amazing for the people that would need that. That's so cute.
Hmm. But I'm not wrong. Marvin is
No.
adorable, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So cute. So cute.
Okay. I love that. So, you see, project management needs to fit what you need. If you need that cheerleader,
Hmm.
go forth. If you need that
Hmm.
procrastination count, go forth. If you want Notion, if you want Airtable, Monday, the list goes on. All I ask as an operations person is think about continuous improvement, meaning whatever you choose, ask yourself, how can it be more orgasmic? How can it be more pleasurable? Don't just stick with an app because you bought it. Like, if it's not serving your needs, don't be afraid to move to version 2. So this is where continuous improvement comes in. And while we can see like a level 10 solution for our clients, sometimes they can only see a level 2 solution because they're so spreadsheet focused on their tasks. So it's like we build them solutions that kind of pull them through and evolve them over time. But no, it's because it's a shock to the system. And what might be the perfect app for you at the very end, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 4 months from now, 5 months from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, 7 years from now, 8 years from now, 9 years from now, 10 years from now, 11 years from now, 12 years from now, 13 years from now, 14 years from now, 15 years from now, 16 years from now, 17 years from now, 18 years from now, 19 years from now, 20 years from now, 21 years from now, 22 years from now, 23 years from now, 24 years from now, 25 years from now, 26 years from now, 27 years from now, 28 years from now, 29 years from now, 30 years from now, 31 years from now, 32 years from now, 33 years from now, 34 years from now, 35 years from now, 36 years from now, 37 years from now, 38 years from now, 39 years from now, could turn out to be negative because you had a bad first impression. So we work with our clients in this sense too to help them grow and improve continuously in a pace that makes sense for them.
And I think at the end of the day, it's important to understand that operations isn't project management, but you don't have operations without
That's
project management.
because operations is about the how in a business, right? The how that makes your what actualized. Project management is the thing, the command center that makes taking action, the doing, the how easier
Hmm.
or harder, depending on what kind of person you are. If
Right.
you're a masochist and trying to make things harder on yourself because you don't know any better, or you're like, we've always done it this way,
Then I
that's a
recommend
really
Trello. Go forth and enjoy.
I've tried Trello. My first knowledge base was in Trello, but it didn't satisfy that need. I was like,
Mhm.
is there no way to aggregate all of my millions of
Oh
boards
my
into one thing?
No, no, there is
I see.
not.
I am a like I need that walk-in closet. Like
Hmm.
it is a deal breaker if you don't have walk-in closet views because that's who I am as a person, and I love myself for it. So I'm not
I do
changing.
too. All right, y'all.
This is so fun.
This is amazing. Thank you so much for taking us on a tour of your stuff. I am absolutely delighted to get to see your walk-in closet for project management. Truly. Like and I say that knowing that when we're done here, despite the fact that I have no time for it, I am probably going to go look at ClickUp again.
It's and this is where then you can talk to me about like you're like, "Oh, I kind of want to do this or I want to see this. Is it possible?" And you can talk to me or somebody who's a power user to kind of streamline that discovery process. So, I can't wait till we chat. Basically, I'm voluntelling myself to chat with
I
or I'm
I
voluntelling you to chat with me.
I'm hearing that. Yes. So
No shame.
let's talk one more time about the self-assessment that you've built into Notion because I'm
Do you want me to share
so
my screen?
excited about it. Yeah, let's do it again.
Okay. So, I got to open up. I got to close Marvin down. So let me share my screen. And before I do so, I just wanted to say that we are building our DIY assessments for different business models. But the thing is like we understand like any business, you have different revenue models, right? You could be a service-based business like us, but you can also sell merchandise or a template shop or have a membership site so it doesn't matter. But what we've done with our clients is like we know you have different revenue models, but let's figure out what the bulk of your revenue comes from first. And let's operationalize the crap out of that service or offer or product. So that's how we've designed the DIY assessments is based on like main revenue model. And okay. Now I'm going to hide my face. This is where I'm trying to get like technical. Okay. So for the assess or the DIY assessment, so this is the service based option. Like use this template if the majority of your revenue comes from providing services to others. We'll give them a whole list of like memberships, digital products, physical products, what have you. But what's really great is that you are walked through exactly how we do this for our clients. We talk about high level evaluation and business goals. We teach you how to interview team members to get like nuggets of wisdom and where people are in consensus about what could be better. We help you audit your own tech stack so that maybe your emotional support tech stack can like be finally not so emotional support anymore.
It's all
But
about the
then,
emotional sport tech stack, y'all.
but then like the big meat of this is the operations audit. And when you get this, everything will be unchecked, but I just, with testing and stuff. And it's really like you're going through your knowledge base and saying, and these are like clear yes or no questions. Do you have a centralized knowledge management system? Yes or no? Leave comments. And as you're going through this from team communication to project management to team onboarding and training. So while in the sales page, I said 11 areas, it's actually like 14 or 15. Team organization and culture, your tech stack and automations, how you've optimized what you offer and sell, your CRM, inquiries, payments. It's like the whole gamut onboarding, offboarding, retention, fulfillment. marketing operations, like 150 items for you to click, which then aggregates into like percentages here. And because we're not doing it for you, you get to decide what the priorities are that you're going to tackle. And of course, we'll give our opinions and such, but at the end of the day, you get to decide and choose your own adventure. But to see things like, oh, hey, look, I'm doing pretty good here. But oh man, I'm sucking like right here. It tells you where you can improve on things.
And
So click on.
truly, y'all, this is where the optimization of your processes will improve your overall flow. We talked about that one a lot in the last episode, but I really think people do not realize how much time it takes to just assess what you have and what you don't have, much less create it all.
So I am the person that doesn't just create offers willy-nilly. Like, oh, this offer didn't work well. Instead of creating a new offer, it's like, let's figure out why, if we can rejig it. Maybe it's not me and it's the wrong audience, right? So I'm saying this because we've been doing assessments since the beginning of 2020. And like, this is like the culmination of 3+ years of us refining and working with hundreds of clients and doing this for them so that you now don't have to talk about you don't know what you don't know, because we're actually telling you these are what the experts are looking for in terms of what we believe should be the caliber of your operations. So you just have to follow the action steps, just clicky, 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 like things like has project templates for client work. Like when we get a new client, when they pay, a new project from the template section of ClickUp gets added and their name is prefixed because we had zaps that set up like, oh, this is a done for you or done with you client. Like we are talking about high caliber stuff. And granted, I audited my own business with this and I'm not perfect. There's
Right.
a lot of areas in marketing operations that I suck in, right? And that's okay because now I know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we're perfect. Things can always be improved, but for have you to go through this with your team or yourself will be really eye-opening to see what is expected.
And it's always, operations is always a work in progress. And I
Yes.
think that is the thing that people struggle with. You're never going to be able to do your ops and be done with it. So having an assessment process that you can put your business through regularly allows you to really refine what is working, what is not, and what you need to fix. And if you're doing this on your own, then this audit, which we have linked in the comments, is absolutely the best way to do this.
And I think what's going to be great, Briar, is that this is going to lead up to our final episode for this season.
Hmm.
And we're going to talk about like what's happened with clients and businesses that have prioritized their operations and some of the case studies and testimonials from both of our clients so that we can actually just say, like, you're not just hearing from the both of us, like, oh, yeah, operations are important because, yes, we're biased that way. But it's just like to hear actual results and what operations has allowed our clients to do, I think is going to be really, really fun to just celebrate that. Like celebrate why operations actually matters and the impact,
Yes.
especially socially for us, it has on the world. Oh, I just got shivers.
Yes. And y'all, I just want to say one more time, this is what we're building here at the Neurodiversity Media Network. We're taking all of this knowledge that people have spent years refining, years creating better things for you, and going into as much granular detail as we can without it being specific to you. And if you have a program or a service that you would like to teach in this way, we are currently placing collaborators for June and July. And you can reach out to me. I will link that in the comments. It's briarharvey.com/partners. We would love to be able to build something for you like this so that you can get the word out. Veronica, I adore you. Thank you.
It was so fun. Thank you for allowing me to geek out on this episode because really, like, I felt like I was born to be a project manager kind of thing because that's just how my brain works. So
I'm
it's really fun to see
really
it
I'm
put into
really
action.
excited to see the snippets that you get to create from this episode of all of your little things in ClickUp and Notion that you can go and use to advertise from now until the end of time, baby. Let's do this.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thank
my friend.
you.
Thank you for being here, y'all. Have an amazing